Our tier list is going to be already in the game, for that's self-explanatory. Probably will be in the game, who I think is most likely to join. Might be, as in, they could. Will they? I don't know, but they could. Might not. That's opposite. Could they make it? Yes. Will they? Probably not, meaning no, they will not be doing that. What's up, Pazzy? And then delete. You'll see soon. Time for bad Zane takes. Exactly. And since I'm probably posting this to YouTube, to all the YouTube viewers out there, to the few of you who are checking out this probably way too long video, my apologies. I am not putting time slots for every character because that would take an eternity. I'm just going to be doing it in alphabetical order, so just randomly click until you find it. Okay? Okay. First thing we're going to do, though, is we'll fill out the obvious ones. So Ari is already in the game, of course. And Echo's already in the game. Alawi is already in the game. There you are. And while we're doing this, I will point out which champions I really want to see. Whether I think they're going to make it or not. But yeah, Alawi's already in the game. Braum is already in the game. Yes, if any of you guys Pixel, if any of you guys want to do the timestamps for it, I will copy and paste it. Because you are better people than I. Who else is in the game again? We got Darius and who else? Oh yeah, Yasuo, very bottom. What's up, Apocalypse? What's up, Reverend? And Yasuo. And Darius is in the game. All right. Okay, so we got the easy part out. We got the easy part out of the way. We got the easy part out of the way of who's already in the game. Not even playing 2SKO today. Still gotta get my shots in on Darius. You know it had to be done. Anyways, though, like I said, though, we are going to be just straight up doing this in alphabetical order because how else am I supposed to do this? So if your favorite character is Yone or Zed or something, I apologize. And just for the record, I did play the game up until a couple years ago, so there are a few champions on this list that I do not know. So actually, I'm going to put one. I'm going to put one in the middle. I'm going to put this is going to be the I don't know section, and that'll be for champions who I just straight up don't know. I will try to put every single champion I do know in a specific tier, but if I don't know the champion, I can't really say much. All right, good, fair enough. All right, we'll start at the very beginning. Unfamiliar. Okay, so I don't know. Unfamiliar. Okay, that doesn't. I don't know unfamiliar tier. I don't know who they are, so I can't have an opinion on it. That Blitz and Teemo are in the game and have a finished moveset. Hey, what's that, Stress? Just that highest tier. We'll start with Aatrox as he is first on the list, and yes, Aatrox will probably be in the game. Because Aatrox is a one-on-one monster. He'd be cool. He could possibly have jumps. He could have dashes. He could possibly have flight with his giant wings. He could have literally anything. He also can pull people in. He's got a bunch of different options, as well as he could have a short install being one of the supers in the case of his ultimates. So Aatrox probably will be in the game. absolutely a fighting game type character, and it'd be really cool to see what he could do in a fighting game. Next up, we got Akali, and again, probably going to be in the game because again, 1v1 assassin, mix up queen, dashes galore. Gonna be a la freaking Venom in MK, the ability to be able to turn invisible. I still think that she is going to be in the base roster. Good talent in the game. I'm glad you like it so much, Truss. But I definitely think Akali might very well be in the base roster of the game. This guy, I don't know who he is. I know he's an ADC. I know he can like revive people. But outside of that, I really don't know. So I really don't know too much about him. But Action, you can take a hike. I'm leaving him the I don't know unfamiliar because of the fact that I don't really know who he is. But I'm assuming that my guess would be he's probably not going to be in the game, mainly again because of the whole revive thing, but I don't really know for sure. Alistar, I'm going to give him a might not. I'm not going to say for sure because the headbutt pulverize combo could be interesting to see what they would do with that in a fighting game. That being said, though, his whole gimmick of knocking someone in the air and then shoving them away is exactly what you typically think of when you think fighting games. Like if anything else, the reason why I'm saying might not is because let's just say, for example, I'm not going to skip ahead, but I'm just about to say this for now. Any AD carry. So let's just say Ashe, for example. Ashe is in the game, right? That's for an example. Ashe is in the game. She's a zoner. She wants you to stay away from them. It'd be interesting if Alistar was a character basically based solely on the design of he's going to try and keep the enemy characters away from his second character. I don't know how they would do it, but it would be a interesting design doing something like that, whereas his gimmick in the game is either drag him in to die or push him away to eat more damage without being able to do anything themselves. It'd be interesting if they could find a way to do that. I don't know that's humanly possible in a fighting game, which means it is more likely than not for him not to be in there. But it would be interesting nevertheless. Amumu, I'd be shocked. I'd be shocked if Amumu made into the game. AoE around him, constantly doing damage. Bandage toss for stuns. A giant AoE stun. And then just smacking people, then just randomly headbutting people from time to time. It doesn't scream fighting games to me in any way, shape, or form. This one might be a bit of a hot take, and you guys are probably really going to hate this. I think Anivia might make it into the game. And Anivia would make the game as the most frustrating character anyone has ever fought against. Anivia would straight up be the most frustrating character that you would never want to fight against, because Anivia would be a straight zoner with the ability to put up a wall like what they do like in KI. Would have a debuff that slows like Lancelot's projectile. But Anivia would just be a straight zoner that would be so annoying for people to get in on top of. Anivia would have like no defensive options, just the basic ones, of course. But Anivia would just be straight annoying to deal with. And I think it could actually fit, because if you guys saw the leaked post, there are going to be zoners in the game, and there are going to be trap characters in the game. They do have those as archetypes in the game. So Anivia, I could see being one of said possible zoners. Annie might be, because puppet characters exist. Basically, the majority of puppet character, odds are if there's a character on this roster that involves puppets in some way, shape, or form, in the case of Annie's Tibbers, for example, they're probably going to go into the might be section because puppet characters do exist in fighting games. In fact, Annie is basically Enchantress from DNF Duel. Like, just straight up Enchantress from DNF Duel. And no, Strauss. I'm not saying Anivia is not. I'm not saying Anivia is unpopular. But Anivia is actually very pop. Anivia is actually very popular. But I mean, based on the moveset I can think of in my head of how Anivia would play in a fighting game is what I'm getting at. That people would hate. People wouldn't hate that Anivia's in the game. But people would probably hate fighting against Anivia and their movesets, is what I'm getting at pretty much. Yes, puppet characters in a tag game would be absolutely disgusting, which is why I don't want to put anything higher than might be. Aphelios. I'm gonna put Aphelios as probably not. And the reason why I'm putting Aphelios as probably not is just because of the fact that I don't know how they would make him into a fighting game character. It's one thing them putting an ADC in a fighting game. It's another to put one that has like 8 different weapons in a fighting game. Oh, you meant a Moo. Gotcha. Now you're good, Strauss. If you meant a Moo, then I gotcha. Yeah, a Moo is not very popular at all either. To Alpha Looker. Alpha has 8 different weapons. Interesting. Either way, I'm still leaving him as probably not though. Also, everyone hated Elfelt. It's like everyone hated Elfelt. Ashe. Ashe, I'm going to put as might be. Again, because Ashe I think would act as a zoner character. And also, Ashe is incredibly popular. So if there is an AD carry that might make it in off of pure popularity alone, it probably would end up being Ashe. Aurelion Sol. Might not. Actually, do I want to put Aurelion as might not or probably not? I'm going to leave it as might not rather than probably not, just because of the fact that I kind of want to see Aurelion Sol in the game. That's kind of personal preference. I'd love to see what they could do with Aurelion Sol. Because Aurelion Sol would be... I don't even know what they would do with Aurelion Sol. He's got the giant blast, the galaxy projectile, the stars around him. I don't even know what they would do with him. But if they did manage to put him in, it'd be really cool. He is a fan favorite just because he is really cool. I don't know how they would do it, but it'd be really cool if they did. So that's why I'm going to put him as might not rather than probably not. Because I've got no idea how they would do it, but it'd be really cool if they did. Azir, again, puppets. We love our puppet characters, and we love the idea of seeing a puppet character in a tag game, right guys? Kind of, not really. Okay, Shinigami does. Bard might not. Bard is an oddball, to say the least. He locks people down with an ultimate, turning them golden. He stuns them against walls. He speeds himself up by gathering charms as well as heals himself. I don't know how any of that would translate to a fighting game. But at the same time, he does like to be annoying and like to fight people. despite being a support. So I could see them trying to find some way to do it. And you either hate the character or love the character. So I could see Riot putting them in for that reason, because nobody likes having a Bard on their team, but at the same time everyone likes watching Bard get played. Belveth probably will be a monster duelist character that's basically a giant bat. I mean, come on, that'd be kind of sick. AoE projectiles around them, a dash forward. Could possibly get stronger the more damage they do. That would be pretty cool. Again, and there's gonna be a lot of these characters where I'm going to say I've got no idea what they're going to do with them, but it still would be pretty damn cool though. Blitz probably. Odds are there's one of two characters that is like for sure going to be in the game. It's going to be either Blitzcrank or it's going to be Set. Set or Blitzcrank is pretty much guaranteed to be in the game because one of the categories in the game is Grappler, and looking at basically the entire roster, the two characters most likely to be a setup to be a Grappler would end up being more likely Blitz, but also possibly Set. And yes, he also has the ability to move faster, and literally one of the attacks in the game is literally a launcher. Brand probably not. Why? I think it's going to be too slow for a fighting game. Without much upside to it. And, like, the whole point of Brand pretty much is he sets you on fire, and then he burns you alive along with everybody around you in big AoE fire damage. It's a 2v2 and majority of the time 1v1 fighting game. Brand just doesn't really make sense. Briar. I know nothing about Briar. Straight up, I know nothing about Briar. Kaylin. Originally I was going to say might not, but now I kind of want to say might be, because one of the categories in the game is trap character. She literally sets traps. So could Kaylin be considered the trap character? That is the big question. Could Kaylin actually be the trap character? Maybe. Just maybe. Otherwise, Camille. Definitely going to be in the game, and also would not surprise me if she ends up being one of the characters in the base roster. She probably wouldn't be. If anything, she'd probably be like season one DLC or something. But it wouldn't surprise me to see her in the base roster, because she is a duelist, straightforward. Between her double Q damage, her leg swings. I have no idea how they're going to use her grappling hook. That would be yeah. Oh yeah, true. She could be considered the mobility character. That'd be cool, actually. Yeah, I would love to see Camille in there. Cassiopeia, probably not. Well, probably not. I'm not sure exactly. Well, actually, I'll leave her as mine. I'll leave her as mine not. So Cassiopeia is going to go into the might not section, because we do have poison characters in fighting games. I mean, Street Fighter 6 right now, we got Aki wrecking people right now with the poison. The one thing is, I don't know exactly what they're going to do with her. She is really quick, because she doesn't have to buy boots, because she doesn't have feet. So she is quick. The poison can be annoying, and she could possibly end up being a Zoner-esque character to go along with the poison. Should everyone to be in the game? I do agree. Warwick will end up being in the game. We'll get to him eventually. God, this is such a long list. Can't think of anyone else who should. I can think of several. I can think of several champions who can and probably will end up being in the game. One of which, the slow tanky Cho'Gath could possibly be in the game. Today is probably going to be exclusively just this tier list. Yes. Hope you guys are ready for that. So you guys are ready for the long haul, because I came into this knowing I am probably going to be here for the entire stream doing just this. Also, why I'm not spending that much time on every single champion. But yes, a lot of fighting games do have a monster character. And in that sense, Cho'Gath would probably be one of the best champions to fit that. A, being a giant monster, of course, and B, it would be interesting to see what the heck they do with him eating people. Corki, not a chance. I would be absolutely stunned if Corki ends up being in the game of all ADCs. He moves very slow for the most part, just shoots Gatling guns. Yeah, I mean, he can fire rockets from far away, but I don't know that I don't see it happening. Diana, definitely. Diana would definitely make it into the game, because you'll notice the theme for a lot of the characters I'm going to put in probably will be they're pretty much all going to be duelist type characters, ones that love to fight straight up. Diana got a ranged attack, dash in, AoE around her, knock up. She's basically got everything you want for a fighting game character. And who wants more tanks to go with Braum? Dr. Mundo. He is going to throw shit at you, and he's going to run at you, and you will never kill him. I don't know how they're going to do his heal effects. God knows, I don't think I want them to do his heal effects. But he's probably going to make it in there. Draven. I could see making it in there. I'd be curious to see what he would end up doing. It'd be interesting to see if he could. It'd be interesting if he did like a Happy Chaos type of sense, where he can knock you into the air, throw several axes at you while you're in the air, kind of as a you cannot burst this scenario, kind of what Happy Chaos does. But it only works as long as he keeps catching the axes, which would be pretty funny to see. He's one of the few AD carries I could see possibly making into the game for sure, and also along with the whole he is very popular. Elise, Spider Queen, yes, she would literally be like Arakune pretty much, summoning a bunch of spiders to attack and mix you up. She'd be a monster, literally. And also she would be exactly the type of champion that I would play, because she'd probably be weird. She'd have the ability to play both close up and far away, but with her spider form and her I don't want to call her human form, but her non-spider form, humanoid form. I don't know. So she'd be exactly what I'd want to see in the game. Be very cool. On the other side, Evelyn, probably not, because what would they do for her? Are you just going to have her run away from people and constantly shooting spikes backwards at them? I don't know. Reptile type character with a demon form. Okay, fair enough. Ezreal, probably. Ezreal, the golden boy of League of Legends. He will be in there just so they can sell skins. Because he has about 30,000 of them. That, and also he'd be a really annoying to cat zoner. I know she can be invisible, but the fact that she's either fully visible or fully invisible at all times is just kind of weird for a fighting game. Like, I'm not sure exactly how they would make it where she attacks, she's visible, and then if you don't attack her long enough, she becomes fully invisible again. Just seems kind of odd to me. Fiddlesticks, probably not. I don't think Fiddlesticks will. I don't think Fiddlesticks would make it into the game. Cause what would a fear even look like in a fighting game? Oh, he's running towards me. Oh, he's running the opposite direction now. I mean a move like that'll basically make it where it's guaranteed to get another hit just seems so weird. I mean, he does walk around with a giant scythe, so I'd be more than okay to have him in the game. Because once we get to Kayn, you'll find out I'm a big fan of scythe using characters. But Fiddlesticks' moveset, I just don't see it translating well to a fighting game. Fiora would be so annoying. Because she's going to be a parry character. Fiora's going to end up being like the freaking sword characters in Super Smash Brothers, where all you're going to see is just her spamming parry over and over again. And then the parry will lead to a combo, and then we're all just going to cry. It's going to be kind of like, I guess it's going to be like Zeta, I guess, or Catalina and Granblue. Fizz might be. I mean, he's an assassin, but he's also a duelist. Uses the trident. Trickster would be I don't know how they would transfer a freaking Trickster into the game. Maybe kind of like Felicia's run through the screen situation thing and from Marvel 3. I don't know. I could see it though. Galio probably might not. He could translate pretty well into a 1v1 game. But with his ultimate basically being but with his W being a giant taunt and his ultimate basically jumping onto teammates, unless they're going to make Galio's one of the Galio's assist a come from the air knock down like Gargus from Killer Instinct or something, I don't know what the heck he would do. Gangplank, maybe. It would all come down to the barrels, because Gangplank with his gun, his saber, he could definitely end up making it into the game. It would all just come down to what they're going to do with the barrels, because the barrels are pretty much because he could be a set play character or a trap character with said barrels, kind of in a similar-ish way to allow it. Just instead of the tentacles doing a follow-up, Gangplank can set off the barrels or have the barrels go, or just them having the barrels go off after a certain time frame. But it would all come down to that whether or not he would make it. Garen probably will. I don't want him to, but Garen probably will. He's just going to be the character that every person that doesn't know how to play fighting games is just going to pick up, because he's just going to run at you like crazy, and then he is just going to spin the win. It is unfortunate, but more than likely Garen will end up making it, and then he's going to be every new player's best friend just like he is in League. Gnar. So here's the thing. Gnar probably won't make it into the game. Or might not make it into the game. But I really want him to. I am a massive fan of Gnar. I was a top lane main when I played League, and I love Gnar. I really want him in the game, as in a similar sense of Elise, where unlike in the game where he has to build up a rage, like maybe he can have it where he builds up a rage timer, but rather than it being he's going to be forced to go into it. Actually, technically, they could actually do that too. Pull a Nago from Strive. You have a rage bar at the bottom, and then once the bar fills up, he transforms in a similar sense as Nago. And then once the bar depletes, he goes back down. Literally just copy Nago pretty much in that sense. Do that to be cool. He'd be part zoner, part monster. Be really cool. Is Gnar just who? Gragas, probably. Gragas. I mean, who doesn't love the idea of the drunken dude making into the game, right? Toss barrels of ale, drink barrels of ale, swing at people using barrels of ale, and then freaking belly flop people as a lariats. I mean, who doesn't love that idea? Also, could you imagine him having a knockback in any way, shape, or form with one of his barrels, leading into even more combos? Like I can see a combo setup where you're mid combo, you toss a barrel behind someone, you do the combo, knock down, toss a barrel, sends them flying across the other side of the stage into the first barrel you set up, and it blows up for a bunch of damage and a knockdown. Be pretty cool. Would be pretty cool. Graves. I don't see it. I don't see it either. He shoots a lot of big guns. That's about it. He has a very iffy dash and very slow shooting. It's gonna be the same sense. It's gonna be the same sense as Jin once we get to him. It's like Happy Chaos if Happy Chaos shot really slow. Hits are great to play like Elfelt. I could see Graves playing more like Elfelt than Aphelios. But they would definitely need to bump up his speed a lot in order for him to be able to fit at all. Gwen might be. So the only reason why Gwen isn't probably will be and it'll be the same reason once we get to Shen as well. I don't know what they're going to do about her AoE protection field. Because I mean, if it protects them from auto attacks, which is basically just what fighting games mostly are outside of specials, I don't know what they're going to do with that. Actually, no, we're just going to put her in probably will be, because outside of that, yeah, she would fit. She would definitely fit. I know, none of these characters are going to exactly be like League. Yasuo is not exactly like League. Braum is definitely not like League. Alawi is close. Echo is close-ish. And Ari is almost exactly. So it's not like they're against the idea of changing up the characters as long as they mostly fit how they are in League. But since I can only predict how things might be like, I'm basing all of these almost entirely off of what they do in League. If that makes sense. Anyways, though, Hecarim. I doubt it. Hecarim is just... I don't know. It's just... What would they even do with Hecarim? I mean, I know, like, MK had Motaro and everything, but, he hasn't been seen in, like, over a decade. So, I don't know, maybe I want to put him in Might Not, because it's not like they haven't, or it's not like there hasn't been Centaur characters in fighting games before. I just don't know what they would do with him. I'll tell you this, though, if they do find a way to put him in, he'd be the ultimate rushdown character, I tell you what. Heimerdinger might be. Heimerdinger, the ultimate set play character. I'm going to place the... he's going to end up being like Kokonoe from Blaze Blue. Just using all types of freaking inventions between the stuns, the guns, using a wrench as a weapon. Heimerdinger would be very much like Kokonoe from Blaze Blue for sure. Well, I don't really know that much about him, to be honest. I know of him, I don't really know much about him, though. Please put Irelia in the game. I beg of you, Riot. Please put Irelia in the game. I don't even think I would play her, but put her in the game anyways because I want her in the game. Freaking love Irelia. Rushdown character galore, and might also be a trap character depending on what they do with her stuns. Also, her weapons are godlike. So that same style of weapons that Kulon uses in Under Night. Such a like that style of weapon, the multiple blades behind them that they swing all once their weapons along with sights like canes. Are probably my two favorite weapons in fighting games. Yes, I am still here. Keep playing music. Those are probably my favorite kind of weapons. So I really hope that she makes it into the game. Ivern. No. I get it to be a puppet-ish character like Annie and Azir using Daisy. But unlike Annie and Azir, he's not really... I don't really see much fighting going on, in a way of putting it. Janna. Believe it or not, I could see Janna possibly making it into the game. She would be very Storm-esque from Marvel. Not shooting a bunch of lightning, just shooting a bunch of wind instead. Blasting people back. Because Storm does do that too. Blasting people back, hitting people with tornadoes. She would definitely, unlike Storm, she wouldn't be a rushdown. She'd be a zoner type character, constantly blasting people with the wind, shooting them backwards, trying to knock them in the air with tornadoes, maybe similar to Grimnir. So I could see her making it in there as a possible zoner character. And then we have the anti-zoner character, Jarvan. Jarvan, his giant lance. Janna Rashido. Yeah, exactly. I can see Janna doing the Rashido. Bad Jarvan. I don't even think I really need to say much about Jarvan. Same thing with Jax. Or Jace. Do I really even need to say much for these three? They are in the case of Jax, they probably would turn his spinning attack into a parry. Outside they can make Jarvan's ultimate be the kind of like a cage that locks people in And I don't like comparing things to Marvel Infinite, but kind of like Marvel Infinite's blue box from the Space Stone. Just kind of lock in with him, guarantee a combo. And then Jace would probably be a character I probably would end up playing, because Jace would be a character that plays the full screen and the close up, either with his giant gun or with the giant hammer. Jhin, I'm gonna put Jhin literally right next to Graves, because I think they're both in the exact same situation of they could be like Elfeld / Happy Chaos if they speed him up a ton. But I don't know if they're going to do that or not. But speaking of Fast and Gunner, a character that we are somewhat confident is going to be in the game as is Jinx. I don't want to say she's already in the game, even though I kind of want to, just because of the fact that we have seen her like 2 years ago at this point in the game. So it is a high likelihood that Jinx, of course, is going to be in the games. We think she might already be in the game. But just in case she's not, I will leave her in the probably will be section, but odds are we will find out in the not so distant future. Kai'Sa I'm going to put as might be. She's another AD carry that could work well as a zoner, being the fact that she does have a speed up. She can turn invisible for a short time, and she does have and her ultimate would allow her to dash across the screen. So I could see her possibly being a zoner type character in 2XKO, because she is fast enough to compete with the other characters while being able to zone. So I think that's going to be something in a game like 2XKO that you very much need if you want to be a zoner. So there are two things that I think you're going to have to be able to do if you want to be a zoner in 2XKO and actually succeed. I think you either need to be fast, because 2XKO, the movement in there is very fast, or B, in the case of Morgan and Marvel, you need to have really good and consistent lockdown. Because the thing with Morgan is that she's not as fast as a lot of the characters in Marvel vs. Capcom 3, but she's so strong because in her when she uses her clone super, she's got like infinite lockdown, to where it doesn't matter how fast your character is, she is going to lock you in place for a very long time. So I think if you want to be a zoner in a game like Marvel, in a game like 2XKO, in a game like Dragon Ball, you need to be fast, or you need to have really good lockdown. And I think Kai'Sa would be a really fast moving zoner. And the opposite of fast moving, Kalista is probably not going to be in the game. If her movement involves entirely on hopping, I don't see that translating very well. Straight up, I do not see that translating very well into a fighting game. Yeah, Katarina will not be day one. Jinx is more than likely, like almost confirmed at this point, to be day one. Just that she was getting a rework. So she's basically still guaranteed, it's just she's currently getting a rework. But until she is for sure announced, guaranteed, blah, 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 I will just be leaving her as probably will be. But yeah, Kosa, no. Karma, might be. So there aren't that many characters. So at this point in the top six, in the 6 characters that are currently being played, even in the case of Braum, who you would think would be a assist character, Karma would basically be almost entirely based around being a zoner / assist character. If anything, having an assist that shields people, maybe maybe it gives them a hit of armor, like not like Braum's shield, which is armor to throw a bunch of things, but maybe Karma's shield would protect you from, like maybe her shield can protect you from projectiles. Maybe it gives you a hit of armor. things like that. And then of course she would play like a zoner because she would have her ability to stun you in place as well as be annoying with a projectile, and her shield as well can speed herself up. Because like I said before, if you're going to be a zoner in a fast game like 2XKO, I think you either need to be fast yourself to where you can get around them, keep away from them, and keep blasting them, or you need to have good lockdown. I think you need to have one of the two of them if you want to be able to be a good character and while being a zoner in a game like 2XKO. In the case of Kaisa and Karma, they are both very fast and would work. Or in the case of characters like Jace or Elise, you have the ability to do both, either be up close or far away. Karma does not fly. Maybe they'll give her a fly because of Allura. If not, she can speed herself up, which works just fine. Which works well enough. Karthus. God, I hope not. Like, I'm going to say this straight up. God, I hope Karthus does not make it into the game. Because we already have characters that do annoying supers. Yes, Darius is in delete for obvious reasons. Karthus, like, so 2XKO already gives you the ability when your character is by themselves below 50% HP, you can call the assist of your dead teammate, which basically is one of your two supers. But that being said, though, Karthus' the whole gimmick pretty much is run forward, die, and kill people while dead. And I don't like the idea of having a character whose whole gimmick is run forward and then kills you for doing things. It'd be like, if he fights against a zoner, he will cry. If he fights against anyone who's melee, yeah. Of course you do, Strauss. Anyone who plays Darius loves Darius in 2XKO. That is a given. There was a 2XKO tournament yesterday, and 7 out of the top 8 players had Darius on their team. Kassadin, the mix-up machine, teleporting left, right, back, forth, and sideways. Kassadin would definitely go in the mix-up category, I am sure. Because much like in the case of Marvel, he would just teleport everywhere from yesterday to Sunday, and pairing that together with a lockdown assist probably would be absolutely terrifying with the mechanics of 2XKO. And it'd be really cool to see. Katarina. We know for a fact Katarina is going to be in the game. She's just not going to be in the base roster, but we know for sure she is going to be in the game because she's basically the test thing of every single thing they've done for 2XKO. So she will be there. Eventually. Kale. Maybe. When it comes to Kale, I kind of think somewhat like Lucilius, where Kale would get stronger out over time, kind of like Lucilius does. But I'm not sure how well that would work. But I'm not sure exactly how well that would work in a game like 2XKO, which is so quick. I don't know how a character that would get stronger over time would fit. What's up, Tashi? And a character that 100% fits, and I beg them to put into the game. Give me Kane. Tashi, this is probably going to be the entire day, because we still have all these champions to go. I've been talking for an hour straight at this point, and I'm not even halfway done yet. And I'm somewhat speeding through this because I know how many champions there are. Gonna need more water for this, more than likely. But yeah, Kane, install character. You have the option of choosing which one, either his Ross form or his darkened form. One will be tankier and more annoying to deal with. One will be faster with more mix-ups. And like I said before, scythe character. I love scythe characters. They're so freaking cool. Ever since I saw Zasamel in Soul Calibur, I've always loved scythe characters. Either my top 1 or top 2 favorite weapon types in fighting games. So I really hope that he makes it into the game. And again, it'd be kind of cool to see an install character, especially one that could possibly have 2 different types of installs. Kennen, maybe. The reason why I'm putting Kennen as maybe is because I want him, and I want him there, and he was my one trick. I was at one point the number 6 Kennen in North America. And I could see him acting as a trap zoner type character with his electric stuns. I know he's probably not going to make it into the game, but I want him in the game because he was my one trick and I love him. So he's going to might be for basically almost exclusively the reason of I want him there. Kha'Zix, on the other hand, is probably going to be in the game. He is probably the closest character to Reptile. But we talked before, this is going to be a YouTube video? Yeah, probably. No reason for it not to, right? For a 2 hours, some odd minute video for people to watch. You know, because people have the attention span to watch 2 to 3 hour long YouTube videos, right? But yeah, Kha'Zix, he's probably the closest thing we're going to end up getting to a reptile type character. Yeah, Ka is the real scythe character. But yeah, can turn invisible like Reptile. Has the ability to speed himself up while turning invisible. Has a leap in the air, meaning that he's either going to have an air dash or he's going to have a double jump in the game. Shoots spikes out as a projectile. I don't know what they would do in terms of making himself stronger like he does when he levels up his ultimate. If anything, every time he uses a level 1, if anything, his specials might get stronger. So that'd be cool. Like if anything, have his level 1, like first level 1, power up one of his attacks, or maybe have one of his level 1s power up his swipe. His other level 1 would power up his spikes, and his level 2 would like increase how long he stays invisible. Not sure exactly how they would do it. It would still be really cool though. And now you're good, Tashi. It's gonna be a long ass video already as is. Guys have a cover to a scale. Let's go. Yeah, don't worry though. You'll get the hang of it. The hard part about Twisco isn't really the simple inputs. Honestly, it's everything else about it. Kindred. I think yes. Kindred would be such an interesting character. So odds are she's like at best a might be, but I kind of want to put her in probably will be, because in a similar sense of she'd be kind of like a puppet character like Azir and Annie, but she would also be a zoner with multiple jumps but she would be able to do like jumps and dashes while shooting arrows, kind of like Matera. While at the same time, I'll talk about Kindred. While at the same time sending out her wolf to attack people as well. She'd be a mix of She'd be a mix of a puppet character, a movement character, a zoner character. They could do so much with her, to where even though she's probably at best a might be, I think she would be really cool, and I think they should put her in, because of all the things they could do with her. It. I'll be honest, I don't know Kindred's lore. I don't know if it's he, him. I don't know if it's he, she, it. Just a forest spirit and they're a wolf. I don't know. But it'd be really cool for them what they do with Kindred, though. And I think we're... It is, sir? Okay, cool. I was right about that. But I think she'd be really cool. And the thing, like I said, they could literally make her a zoner character, a movement character, and a puppet character all in one go, and it'd be really cool to see. It'd be really cool to see. Kled. What an oddball character he'd be. Actually, I'm gonna put him in might be, just because I don't know what they would do when it comes to Scarl and knocking him off Scarl, stuff like that. And it'd be really weird to see people knock. I'm talking myself into moving down. I might not. I talked myself down on Kled just because. What are they going to do for combos? Are they going to knock him and Scarl into the air? Are they going to knock Kled off of Scarl, do an air combo in the air against him, and then have Scarl catch him? It'd be so weird. So I mean, I could see Kled in the game, in the case of his moveset, but Scarl just would make things so weird. Kagma, not a chance in hell. Kagma would so basically the only way Kagma would work in a game like 2XKO would be if there is a character whose sole and only purpose is to be an assist and nothing else but an assist, in order to be able to make Kagma be able to do more things than what he probably actually can. That's probably the only way I could possibly see Kagma make it into the game. Otherwise, nothing about him really fits that idea. Cassante. No. Please no. I see the things he does in League of Legends, and I don't want to see it in 2XKO. I do not want to see Cassante in 2XKO. Could I see him in it? Yes. Do I want to? Please no. Please no. I know he'll probably make it, but I don't want him to. Might be LeBlanc. Dashes galore, traps galore, projectiles galore. She'd be a zoner mixed together with an assassin. she would have short 5, 6, 7 hit combos, and then constantly run away until she does it again. I don't know. Assassins are kind of a weird option, but she would have a lot of mix-ups though with her ability to jump back to where she previously was. But the reason why I'm not sure they would put her in is because Echo's kind of already doing something like that, and I don't know if they want to do that twice. At least in the sense of they just jump back to where they were. We'll get to Zed later. Lee Sin. If he's not base roster, I'd be shocked. Straight up, if Lee Sin isn't base roster, I straight up would be confused. I'd have no words if Lee Sin doesn't make the base roster. I really would. Leona. She might. She might. She's got a sword. She's got a shield. She could literally be Catalina. Leona could legitimately just straight up be Catalina from Granblue. Yeah, I could see it. Lilia. Probably not. I don't know. Lilia's... I don't know. Her stuns, her lockdowns in a similar sense of Hecarim Hecarim with the whole centaur type thing. I don't know. Could I see it? Kinda. I don't know. She'd be weird. Should be weird for sure if she did make it though. Lysandra, probably not. She could be a zoner type character that's then in a similar sense as Anivia that locks you down and freezes you. But unlike Anivia, she, at least in League, wants to be close. Where Anivia would straight up be a zoner that constantly keeps you away and has a wall to keep you away and stuff like that. So I'm not sure exactly how well Lysandra would fit in the game. That being said though, the AD carry I think that most likely would fit into XKO and that I hope makes into the game is Lucian. Lucian is the ADC I think that is most likely to make it into Project L or 2XKO. Because he is dash and fire galore. Dash fire, dash fire, dash fire. He'd be like Happy Chaos rolling through people to mix them up with the left right. Lucian would be doing the same thing. Roll under fire, dash back. You come toward me, dash backwards, fire, jump in the air, fire. He'd be Happy Chaos with unlimited bullets, and it would be terrifying to anyone going up against it. And I'd be all for it. Lulu. I don't know. Lulu would be another one of those characters where I'm just like, yeah, she's just going to be a pure. She'd be like a pure assist character. I don't even know what thing for otherwise. And I'm not sure. And I could see possibly pure assist characters making it into 2XKO. But that being said, I don't know if that's an archetype they want to get into or try and do. But I don't know for sure. Lux I'm going to put as might be. So Lux would go in the might not for me personally if she wasn't like the most popular champion of all time. Lux has like 1,000,001 skins and is so stupidly popular that I think there is at least a chance she'll make it in through that alone. Again, will she actually? I don't know. But there's a chance she'll get in literally just through that alone. Master Yi, maybe. Master Yi's a maybe just because of the fact that his whole gimmick pretty much is I'm going to speed myself up and I'm going to swing really fast. Swing, 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 dash. Swing, 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 dash. Swing, 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 healing. Swing, swing, dash. I've got absolutely no idea what they would do with him because there needs to be something more than just swing, swing, swing. Could he make it into the game? Yes. But being the fact that his two mechanics pretty much are go fast, heal, and then swing, 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 I don't know. They would need to come up with more stuff for him before I would say he would make it into the game. Actually, I'm going to put him down to might not, actually, for that reason. I kind of talked myself into that. Hey, what's up, Professor? Malphite. Might not. I don't know exactly what they would do with Malphite. She's a character that speeds himself up, slows down the enemy's attack speed, knocks people up in the air, and then sits there and becomes really, really tanky. I don't think he would fit the. I don't know if he would fit the bruiser type. Because he would literally just run at you. It's not like he's Braum where you can put a giant shield up. He will literally just walk towards you. And he's not a grappler either. So I'm honestly not sure exactly what they would do with him. So I'm going to leave him as my nuts. Malzahar. Maybe. Malzahar would also be a zoner character in a similar sense to Elise, where he would just summon a bunch of pets to attack you, and while those pets are attacking you, he is going to blast you from far away. Not sure there's a name for that type of zoner, because I don't think he's going to be a puppet character. He's going like some. There's a character in Under Night that does this, where he summons a creature to attack for him, and then it goes away. So I don't know if it's exactly a puppet character, because he doesn't. I don't know if. I think it's going to be more like a. I think he's going to be more like a Cyberman, like a Nappa type character. Imagine a like zoner type Nappa that can blast you from far away, and then has the minions that he summons just do what they do and attack you. I think he would be like a zoner Nappa in a way. And yes, that type of character would be a pain in the ass. That does fit. Yeah, so I guess imagine a zoning Nappa, and I guess that's what I picture what they would do with Malzahar. Maokai. Yeah, I don't get it. Half of Maokai's kit is lock people is just snare people in place, and then one of the two other moves is toss a tree sapling at them in the exact same way that Braum is currently throwing poros at people. So yeah, I don't see them just copying the poro throw, and then the other two just being snares. I don't know how they would put him into a scale really. I don't even know your name. I know you're a support. You're a no. MF is a might not. She was with most AD carries. She would probably be a zoner. Yeah, I'm not sure. She does have a speed up, which could be good for her, but I don't know, man. I don't know, maybe I just don't want to deal with her, with her bullet rain paired together with her level 2, which is probably going to be her rapid fire, or level 1 be rapid fire because the level 2 typically have animations. I don't know. I can't really see her making it of all the AD carries. I can see her making it more likely than others, but she's probably not going to. Mordekaiser. This dude is made to duel people. He would probably be a striker in a very similar sense as Darius, because I guess that's what the archetype is that they call Darius, a striker character, because he's got long range, he's got a pull, he's got an AoE attack, and he has a giant slam with a giant ass weapon. So I need to sneeze, but at the same time, it's not letting me sneeze. I love when that happens. But yeah, Mordekaiser would fit in a very similar sense as Darius, just hopefully not as broken. Please, not as broken. The game is already rough enough with one Darius. We don't need a second one. Morgana. Maybe. More zoners. I notice I'm putting a lot of zoners in the might not and might be, and I'm putting basically almost no zoners up here. How many zoners did I put up here? Did I just put Kendra as the only one? Or 1.5 with Jace, I guess, or 2.5 with Elise. I put Ezreal, Draven, Lucian. I put a couple. Yeah, I am Morgana. She can put a shield on herself, which will basically. I wonder if they could put. I wonder if the shield they put on her would be a projectile of perfection. Where did I put MF? MF was here in the Might Not. Primarily just because of the fact that if they do make a moveset around her, I'm not sure I want to deal with a bullet rain from the sky followed by bullet hell from her super as a mechanic in a fighting game. That doesn't sound fun to me. Morgana would probably be an anti projectile character. If anything, she would be a character that would fit as an an anti-zoner, I guess, in a way, because that's kind of what she is in the game herself. She's putting the black shield, pretty much protecting from CC, while at the same time shooting CC out herself. Yeah, she would. Yeah, Miss Fortune would actually be very launcher-esque, which, as we've seen, Star could either be absolutely terrible, like on release, or kind of broken, like right now. Yeah, Morgana would be like an anti-zoner type character. So I could see her making it in, but she'd be but I think there are definitely better options to get in besides her, since she basically I think her entire kit will basically be around the whole she'll beat zoner like characters, and then she'll pretty much die to any rushdown character, so which makes me think she probably wouldn't be that great of a choice. I don't even know what this dude's name is. Nataro or something. I don't know. He's basically a wolf. He's basically the wolves from Summoner's Rift, but I don't really know anything about him. Nami, I'd be shot. I mean, at least Janna, we have something to talk about in the case of like comparing her to like Storm and Rashid, because since she can fly, shoot tornadoes. Nami is a fish out of water that just shoots water at people. I mean, the tidal wave could be interesting, but that would probably be her super, so I don't know what the heck they would do. Besides that, I mean, she could use her weapon. Probably better than most supports, I guess, but that'd be like best I could think of probably for her. Nasus, probably not. Even though Nasus could work in the game like this, in terms of being like a one-on-one duelist, Nasus's whole gimmick in League, as you guys know, or those guys who play it, is his stacking mechanic. In the case of kill a minion, kill an enemy with your Q, gain stacks, do more damage. I don't see how they could possibly do that in 2xKO. And if they don't do something like that in 2xKO, then they're pretty much removing the main gimmick around the character. And of what they have said, they try their best pretty much to keep the characters the way they are pretty much, or keep them like proper in their lore and League and stuff like that, but then bringing them into a fighting game, and I don't know how they could do that possibly with Nasus. Nautilus could make it. Actually, Nautilus probably would make it. He'd make it as a bruiser character in a similar sense as Braum. Giant anchor. He would Gwen and S. Don't worry, Gwen's here, and there probably will be. You're good. Nautilus. He'd basically just be a bruiser character. Giant anchor. He could possibly be a command grab character with the anchor toss. He has knockups with his ultimates. He has an AoE attack around him. So he could probably make it in there as another bruiser-like character. He probably wouldn't make base roster because we already have a couple of bruiser characters in the case of like Alawi and Braum. But he could possibly be there as a future bruiser character sometime in the future. Nico. I'm gonna put her in as might be for one reason and one reason only. She could end up being. I'm trying to think of the way to describe it pretty much. So basically, and as she is, she would be like a zoner-like character, of course, because she stuns you, tosses projectiles, whatever. We all know that. But what they could do is in League, she can transform herself into allied teammates. basically try to trick people into thinking that she's them. But what they could do is the opposite, and have her be able to transform into enemies, a la Shang Tsung from Mortal Kombat, and basically be able to go back and forth between her and the enemy that's on screen. So they could possibly do something like that. She'd be like the most complicated character ever, because you'd have to know how to put every character in the game in order to effectively use her. But they could technically do that as an option, pretty much. Which is why I'm going to put her as might be in the game. Basically for almost exclusively that reason. Because if it wasn't for that reason as a possibility, I probably would have her as might not, or probably not. Nidalee. Yes, please. I could definitely see one getting in. But Nidalee definitely could get in a similar sense I was talking about before with Jace, like Elise. Or in the case of Gnar, but without having to deal with the whole rage bar requirements. Just having she would have the ability to play far away with her spears, be a zoner-like character, but also have she could literally be a rushdown character, a trap character, and a zoner character, all in one go. Because she could literally throw spears and be a zoner, set up her traps, and then turn to her cat form and be rushdown. She could literally be all three, and it would be awesome. And I hope that they do that, because that would be awesome. So I mean, having the option to act as a zoner, rush in on people and set up traps, sounds like my dream character right there. So I hope that she makes it in. I do not know who you are. Nocturne. Maybe? I don't know how the heck they would turn on dark. I don't know how the heck they would do darkness and fear. Actually, I won't put him at might not. I'm gonna put him in might not, because half of his movesets in League would make no sense to me. Neela's a melee range ADC. Okay, I could see that. I just don't know enough about her really to talk about. But if she's a melee range ADC, I could see it. But yeah, Nocturne, I'm gonna put as might not, just because. Yeah, I've got no clue what the heck they would do. What the heck they would do with him. And there's similar sense as Master Yi, where half of his moveset isn't really going to fit into the game, and then he's going to shoot shadow on the ground at people, then run faster while walking in it. I don't know. Nocturne doesn't really. Yes, he's a 1v1 duelist type character, duelist guy jungler in League of Legends. But in going into a fighting game, they would need to change quite a bit in order for him, I think, to work. So I'm going to leave him as a might not. I could see him making it in there, but I think they would have to change quite a bit in order for him to work. New. Darkness would probably be a super. But Nunu, probably not. I mean, I don't know. It's kind of weird talking about healing characters when it comes to fighting games. So Nunu's eight to heal. His snowball he could slowly build up while he runs. This is in a game like 2SKO, you would just jump over it. You would just jump over him if they actually put that move into the game that wasn't a super. And even then, if it was a super, that he still would need to run. I don't know. That'd be weird. I don't know. I just don't know what the heck they would do with Nunu, to be perfectly honest. Olaf, similar. Olaf, I'll put as might be, through because of the axe toss. He would have an install that would give him super. He would have an install that would give him super armor. And as he gets weaker, he gets stronger. It could work. It could work in that sense, and he would end up being a bruiser like character. Not more super armor. I know, but in the game he heals more, and I'm not going to. And then again, I don't like the idea of saying, "Oh yeah, this character will be in the game because he heals." Maybe the lower health he gets, the more maybe he'll have the ability to heal Gray Life when he attacks or something, rather than having super armor or something. But just because of the way he is, he needs something for when the character gets weaker. Oriana. So here's the thing. Oriana, if I'm being perfectly honest, should go in might be. But I'm putting her in probably will be because I really want her in the game. She would basically be like Manat from Street Fighter V. And in a game like 2XKO, the things you'd be able to do with her would be so freaking crazy. Between the combos, the setups, the mix-ups, the Oki, the things you'd be able to do with Oriana would be so insane. Depending on what they give her for her moveset, I'm gonna put her in probably will be, even though she should be and might be, just because I really want her in the game, and it'd be really cool to see. Hey, what's up, Colonel? Orn. Orn. Orn could be a bruiser. Orn can be a bruiser-like character. And again, my apologies, but super armor. One of his specials and one of his assists will be him breathing fire, which will have armor to it. It's more nice. Yeah, the fire would have armor to it. He'd have a charge. He'd be able to set up a pillar in a similar sense that Anivia sets up a wall. Exactly. He'd basically just have armor on everything, pretty much. Which again, I'm not a fan of. But he would probably end up being slower than Darius, and his normals won't be as far, so it'd be a bit more fair of a bruiser than what Darius is currently doing to people, myself included. Pantheon, the duelist himself. We all know that Pantheon would be a character that most people probably would consider for this game. I mean, he's got a spear and a shield in a similar sense we were talking about before with Leona. He can chuck the spear. He's got Wolverine Swiss cheese. He'll have a parry. He'll have a super where he will literally jump on people like as a way of anything, like just to punish someone for tossing a projectile. He's basically a character that, in a similar sense as like Lee Sin, just feels inevitable that they're going to be in the game. Just not a matter of if, only when. Speaking of which, Poppy, the anti-speed character. Do you mind a DBZ question? Go for it. Actually, I'll put Poppy on that might be. Well, one of the art types they actually have in the game is like low range or short range or something. So that could mean Yordles technically. But yeah, the main reason why I'm going to put Poppy as might be rather than probably will be is just the fact that Poppy does like having people near a wall, and I'm not sure exactly how that would translate to a fighting game. Past that though, Poppy could Poppy could literally be an anti dash character like she is in the game. Got a hammer swing that'll cover a long range. I mean, her ultimate is a freaking knock up into the air. Hey, that's not a screaming fighting game. I don't know what does. Oh really? Okay, Poppy's going to mine not then. If I play Krillin and Beerus, who goes anchor? Krillin. Beerus would go mid, Krillin would go anchor. Pike. Pike might make it in as a possible grappler. If anything, the way Pike would probably work, Pike would probably be a grappler like character who got like he'd be like a grappler character. He would also have mix-up options, of course, with his dash. And if you kill someone with a level 2, you get 1 bar refunded. But yes, Yordos would definitely be a pain. But yeah, if anything, if you kill someone Pike's level 2, you get a bar of it back, as his way of counting as a gold creating character, or both him and his teammate get 1 bar of meter if you kills. That'd be cool. There's like 170 characters on this list, Omega. They're not all getting in the game. Someone who is though, Kiana. I don't know how they would do her attribute thing or her element option. But if they do find a way to do it, she'd be really cool. But she could literally have like 3 separate moves. She would have 3 separate movesets pretty much, based on which attributes she does. Like if anything, what would happen is she would have a neutral, a down, and a left right special one that would change what element she has on her blade, and then her S2 would be her actual attacks. And then each one would do something different. So she'd be kind of like a stance character, pretty much. Just instead of changing her stance to be different normals or whatever, or technically her normals could possibly change as well, she would change elements on her weapons to then get different kinds of movesets, which could lead to different combos. And you can do stance changes and combos to add more. Like you can use the earth one to knock them up in the air, and then change into the water one to then freeze them on the ground to give. Actually, you can use the water one to freeze them on the ground, which then gives you time to change to the earth one, which could do more damage and knock them up in the air. Things like that. Be pretty cool. Not sure exactly what they would change. That'd be pretty cool. Quinn. Maybe. Remember what I talked about before about how I think if you're going to be a zoner into SKO, you're going to need one of 2 things. You're either going to need to be fast, or you're going to need to be able to lock people down. Well, Quinn can kind of do both. Quinn's both really fast, and has the option of knocking people backwards. I'm hoping that they ignore the blind part though. You know, when she does her Q and hits people, it blinds them. Hopefully they skip that part. But she's both fast and can knock people back, so she would fit that. So she would fit that category pretty much. Rakan. I don't see it. I don't know what they would do with Rakan. Like if Rakan gets in the game, I'm sure Zaya would join him. But I just don't know what the heck they would do with him. I really don't. Rammus, if Poppy's not making it in because of size, neither is Rammus. And also, Rammus, as a character, he makes people hurt themselves by attacking him. I don't know. I don't get it. I don't think that would work. Rek'Sai, though. Maybe. Rek'Sai could possibly get into the game. The main reason why she's a might be rather than a probably will be is just the tunnels. Her whole gimmick being can tunnel from one tunnel to another tunnel to another tunnel to another tunnel and use those like to speed along. I don't know exactly what she would. I don't know exactly how or if it'd even be possible for them to do something using her tunnels. I don't know, pull like a rocket raccoon where a rocket goes into the ground and then comes up on the other side or something. Maybe. I'm not sure. But the tunnels being a big part of her kit kind of makes me think that she's not going to make it, even though she very well could. So that's why I'm going to put her as a might be. Rel. Similar sense as Kled. I don't understand what they're going to do with her. Are they going to send her flying with her mounts? Is she going to get knocked off the mount and then she's going to land and get caught by the mounts? I don't know what they're going to do. I don't know what the heck they do from that point of view. People learn that the mount or certain moves supers. It'd be kind of weird seeing Rel walking along without their mount. I don't know. I forgot your name, but I know what you do. I know it starts with an R for obvious reasons. I don't know for that. Renata, thank you. Renata, I don't know. She shoots a projectile to send people away. She shoots an ultimate that makes enemies attack each other. I'll put her as might. I'll just put her as might not because I could see a situation where Renata could have a move that could like steal the opponent's assist. So one of her specials if the enemy calls their assist, Renata can use either a super or one of her specials or something and basically have the cameo get reversed where you use assist instead. Like baby, exactly. So I could see that in a way. So in that sense, I'll move her up to might not, but I still don't really see her making it to 2x KO. That character, that move itself it was enough to make me think might not, but the rest of everything else about her though just makes me scream not quite for this game. Don't worry, Darius and Cassante are going to be joined by one other character later. Could you imagine a Mumu doing bionic arm and grappling hook combos? It would look so silly. Renekton, we all know Renekton. We all know Renekton would make sense. Another monster character that would make sense. He'd have an install to make himself strong, make himself stronger. Lockdown assist, double dash for mix-ups. He'd be either a bruiser or a striker character like Darius with the amount of range he has. The one thing again, if anything, one of his abilities on hit would heal Gray Life or something. Because again, I'm kind of having to hide a little bit on the whole healing mechanic which a bunch of characters have. But if anything, Renekton's ability would just involve healing back some Gray Life or something. Yeah, Blitzcrank is most likely the grappler character that is leaked to be in the game. I still think him or Set, but we're almost at Set, so I'll put him there. Put there in a second. Rengar's a maybe. Main thing with Rengar is the whole as whole he turns invisible and jumps on people, and he jumps from bushes to attack people. So basically everything about him I could see in 2xKO, except for the whole his whole gimmick is jumping in a bush, attacking people, or turning invisible and jumping on people. So they would need to figure out something for him to work around that. So I'm gonna put him as a might be, because if they do find something to cover for that, he would fit perfectly. But being the fact that his main idea is of course, like I said, getting in a bush and jumping on people, they would need to figure out something for that. If they figure out something with that, everything else fits perfectly for him. Until then, though, I think I would leave him as a might be. How will they put his mechanic in the game? If he kills someone with a super, he gains a bit more health, and he heals a bit of health. So every time if he does his level 2 super, which is going to be the chomp, he heals, or he'll have a command grab that'll heal Gray Life, and then if he kills someone, he gains more health. That's what I was thinking for. That's what I was thinking for the chomp in order to make his mechanic fit. Otherwise, he's got a knock up. He's got a scream. Kind of like the Banshee scream from Sindel in Mortal Kombat that could stop people from doing any specials or possibly calling assists. So he's got some interesting options on top of just being a giant monster creature that would basically just act as a bruiser in the game. Just a matter of how they would take it, what direction they would take his other moves. But the options are there. Just a matter of how they would do it, which is why he's in might be. Riven. I mean, if they're putting in some of the league's most popular champions, I mean, come on. She would be the literal Rekka character of the game, which she's literally got Rekkas in League. She'd have a stun. She'd have an install that would increase her damage for a short time and will allow her to shoot the projectile. I'd be absolutely it would not surprise me in the slightest if she ends up being in the base roster, let alone in the game. Rumble. I don't see it. Main reason why I don't see Rumble make into the game is the fact that yes, Rumble could be Rumble would fit in a way like Tron, but yes, But yeah, basically, Rumble would be like Chris if he could do that while moving and still attack you. So basically, they would need to take Rumble's mechanics of being able to do multiple things at one time and turning into a Chris situation for Marvel, where he can only do one thing at a time. Because if he can attack while shooting fire, if he can shoot fire and tag into a different character, literally locking them down in a situation to where you're eating a guaranteed mix-up because you're just stuck blocking fire, that would not make any sense and be kind like it'd be like if Ari could do her Super Saiyan Vegeta assist, but as just a straight up move that basically lasts longer than that assist and still be allowed to tag. It would just make no sense. And of course, having these line of sights, aim and fire abilities like what Rumble has in the game and all these damage over time effects and everything in a 2D fighting game. Yeah, I don't know about that. So that's why I have Rumble and probably not. They would just need to change so much about how he works in League in order to make him work in this game. And yes, pretty much almost all Yordles are pretty much going down here except for Kennen, because I love Kennen. It's kind of as simple as that. I love Kennen and I want him in the game, so he goes up here. Rise. Yeah, I'm putting Rise and my not, just because I don't know. He'd be his owner character for sure, obviously, but his ultimate being if anything, like they could take his teleport and make it just a regular mechanic, so he could be, so maybe they'll move him up here actually. So like if they take his ultimate from League, which is his teleport, they make that a regular special, so that gives him a teleport. And then if anything, like Non-Nerb said with throwing the balls to bounce off of runes, one of his supers could be setting up a bunch of runes on the ground as traps that he could then toss to then pop them to do a bunch of damage. I don't know, they could do some interesting things with him. He'd be one of the few zoner characters that's not like super quick in the game that I think could possibly work, as long as they give him that teleport as a regular move rather than a super. Because then he'd be annoying to catch. He'd have lockdown or slows with the cage, and then as Rise is known for, just constantly shitting up projectiles over and over again, and he'd just be filling the screen and being super annoying. Probably someone I would enjoy playing, to be honest. Okay, we all knew this was coming. We all knew this was coming. She's going to the top of the list. We all know that she's going to be in the game. Like even more. Oh, really? You didn't know Samira's going to be in the game? She's literally Dante. Who is she? That is Samira. She, like I said, she's literally Dante. Guns, swords, rapid fire guns, giant sword. She is literally Dante. Like if there's one character that basically everyone who knows all the characters of the leagues and pretty much all universally agree they are going to be in the game, that is her, basically. We all know it's going to happen. It's just a matter of when. Who's next? Sejuani. I'm gonna put Sejuani here with the rest of them. It'd be interesting to see what the heck they would do with her when it comes to the ice and freezing mechanics and slowdowns and freeze them in place, stuff like that. But again, mounted characters in a game like this just doesn't seem right to me. It really doesn't. No, that was Katarina. That was her. She's basically what they use to test everything. She's not going to be in the base game, but she'll be there eventually. That's why she's up here. Senna. Probably not. I don't know about Senna. Big ass gun to shoot projectiles. Pretty slow for the most part. Her ultimate that can shield herself and her teammates is interesting, but I don't know how well she would translate at all to a fighting game. Yeah. Yeah, you know who's not slow, but is really annoying. Seraphine. Like if we want to talk about 80 carries that are quick and annoying to deal with, I think Seraphine would be up near the top of the list there, huh? She would be great for an announcer, but at the same time, I could also see her possibly being a character. But she would be great. She would be great for an announcement. That's a FlyQuest tournament tonight. Set. Go join Samira. We all know you're going. We all know you're going to be there. FlyQuest is hosting a free 2SKO ladder tournament tomorrow. Neat. But yeah, so that's kind of obvious. If anything, it's between him and Blitzcrank for the possible grappler of the game. But his literal main gimmick is punching. He'll probably be the grappler because he does have a couple different grab options. But he's a given. Shaco. God, I hope not. God, I hope not. He might be. I don't want him to be, but he might be. Shaco will have left rights with his clones, traps with his Jack in the Box. Honestly, probably would be a character I would probably play, to be honest. With annoying projectiles, annoying mix-ups, annoying everythings. He could fit in the game, and I probably would like playing him. Shen. I'm gonna put Shen. Yeah. Actually, I'm gonna put Shen down here. So Shen is a character that, again, and he's a character that would fit. Sorry. Some of his mechanics don't necessarily go 1-to-1 very well into 2XKO. Be it the giant shield that prevents all basic attacks from hitting. He's also his ultimate being a shield to an ally that's Intimidator. That doesn't really fit. And then having the random swords just floating around that he can call to him to slow people doesn't really fit either. He could definitely make it into the game, but they would definitely have to change a lot more of him in order for it to fit. Where Mundo at? Where did I put Mundo at? Did I put him here? Oh yeah, Mundo's here. Mundo, big bruiser dude. That's just gonna run the fuck at you pretty much. Same thing with Garen. Big bruiser dude. That is gonna go full charge. Alright, because it'd be a Cameron MK1. True. Shyvana. Maybe. Shyvana would at least be better than Gnar. In the case that she won't have to have a rage bar or two different movesets or anything, she would just have basically an install. That being said, though, the hitbox hurtbox thing you'd have to figure out by putting by making her into a giant dragon would probably be an absolute pain in the ass for, and I'm not sure exactly how they would make that for for a character in the game. It's one thing. It's one thing saying that for Belveth, since Belveth is just straight up Belveth. But trying to figure out how to make Shyvana's dragon work, going from Shyvana to Giant Dragon, that might be a little rough to say the least. Yes, Nar would be awesome. I would love for Nar to be in there, but I got no idea how the hell they would do it. Singed. Nope. Yeah, no chance in hell Singed is going to make it, because I'm not sure how you're going to make running away from people and shooting poison behind them nonstop into a fighting game. And yes, if they did Shyvana and made it just where her level 2 was just turned to a dragon and attack, that'd be one thing. But at the same time, that would be kind of disappointing. Typical zoner. He wouldn't even be a typical zoner because he doesn't shoot any projectiles or anything. He would basically his entire plan would basically be revolving, hoping that you would run at him. So if Singed ever fell behind, he would be so screwed because he would have to run to you, and Singed is not made to do that. And that could possibly work too, Brennan. But again, I'd be curious to see what the heck the hitbox or hurtbox would look like, though. Because in the case of Reptile does miss, and even when he misses, he still turns into the Reptile. So if she turns into the dragon and she misses, what would that look like? Yes, but Fang at least has more options. He has a projectile to throw. Pools of poison to place on the ground at a distance from him. Singed just runs to people, tosses them backwards, and then runs away and throws more poison. Scion. The undead character I don't see them putting the undead character in the game, because again, how are they going to take his main mechanic and make it into a fighting game? They would have to like I said, they keep mentioning how their game plan with 2XKO is basically taking characters from League and then making kits around them that make sense from their lore, from League and things like that. How do you take the undead character whose main gimmick is dying and then coming back to life to punch people? How are you going to make that into something in Project L when they already have a situation where when your character is dead, you can call the assist anyways? Just seems weird to me. Just sucks because that's his whole thing pretty much. It'd be one like if assist didn't exist when a character was dead, that would be his mechanic and it would be great. But that doesn't. But everyone has it, so that kind of sucks. Get what I mean? Sivir. Probably not. Sivir is one of the ADCs that probably is least likely, in my opinion, to make it into the game. Just because she throws a projectile and that's about it. She was last with boomerangs. I mean, she could do auto attacks with her boomerangs and then try to zone by tossing it, I guess. But unless they give her lariats like Captain America, I don't know exactly what they would do. So I can see in a similar sense as Draven up here, where they use their big ass weapons as actual weapons to auto attack with, not just toss from far away. But Draven at least makes slightly more sense though, due to the multiple options he has for it, on top of the speed of having a regular ability, and the knockaway, and the repeated axe tosses, axe catches to attack more and lock down more. How many left? Like 40, 45, I think. Skarner would be sick. Skarner would be sick. Grappler options, bruiser options, speed character options. He'd have a lot of cool things they could do with him. Not a character I would play, but definitely a pretty cool bruiser character they'd be able to come up with. Bruiser paired together with grappler. Be pretty cool. Smolder. Probably not. Smolder getting stronger as the game goes on. I don't get it. Smolder calling mama for a super would be cool looking, but outside of that, I don't know. Because Smolder can also like fly over rocks and projectiles and stuff like that. So unless they want to have him jump in the air and then fly across the air, raining down fireballs or something, I don't know. I don't get it. Sona, probably not. She'd be in the background somewhere playing music, or she'd be commentating, or she'd be doing anything besides fighting. Soraka, not a chance, because I don't see there being healing, or hope not. I don't want there being a healing character specifically in this game. Imagine having one, like, if there's like let's just say, for example, Darius is still the most broken OP thing, whatever, in the game, right? And Soraka comes out. You just play Darius Soraka, and Soraka just keeps healing him, and he just constantly stays alive no matter what, and it just gets super annoying. I don't want it. Swain. I don't know what to think about him. I'm gonna put Swain as a might not, because he could be a trap. He could be a trap character, but setting the bombs on the ground. An AoE ultimate attack, or possibly an install, shooting lightning from far away, keep him as a zoner. Could have like a Testament's birds that he can teleport to. I don't know, something like that. He's got a few options, which means it's at least possible, but there are definitely many better choices, I think, before him, like Silas. Silas would be awesome. A character who will literally steal opponent's abilities. Exactly. He'd be like Seth, stealing abilities, and it'd be awesome. And he'd have good range too with all of his chains. It'd be sick. Syndra. Syndra is going to go next to Orianna. Actually, I put Orianna up there. Syndra's going to go down here and might be. Actually, no. Syndra's going to go to probably. Syndra. Actually, just going to go next to Orianna. I think both Syndra and Orianna both like so. Like, I don't know. This is going to be like the 20th time I said it. I said this. I apologize. I still think if you're going to play, if you're going to have a zoner in this game, it's going to be either through a zoner being really quick in the case of like a Kaisa or a Jinx, or a Seraphine, or one of them, or they need to have good lockdown. And Orianna with the ball, and Syndra with her orbs, I think would be really good at it. Syndra would be a set play zoner-like character, constantly setting up orbs, constantly hitting people with them, constantly sending them flying at people to knock them away. Her super would literally just send a bunch of them out. If they want to, they can make the orbs explode to do more damage when people touch them. You have lots of options for what they do for her. Like if all these out zoners I've talked about are ones that are really good are really fast to be able to stay away from people and zone them. Syndra and Orianna are probably the best two at actually locking people down. Tom. Tom might be, because he could possibly be a grappler. Also, bear back 1 second. But yeah, Tom. So if anything, if somehow Blitzcrank isn't the grappler, or Set isn't the grappler, or even Skarner isn't the grappler, then Tom's got to be the grappler, because we're kind of running out of grappler options here. It's going to be one. If it's somehow not one of them, it's got to be Tom. Who's the bottom two and deletes? That would be Darius and Cassante. Darius because he's so stupid, and Cassante because I really don't want him. Because he's going to end up being really stupid. Talia. Talia, maybe not. Maybe not. Another zoner-like character. I just think if we're going to have a character that's going to shoot a projectile, try to keep people away, be annoying, put up a wall, Anivia is just a better choice for it. Unless they don't want to put birds in the game, in which case they would do Talia instead. But at least moveset wise, I think Anivia makes it for a better zoner that does that than Talia. Talon. I'll be honest, when it comes to watching or playing League nowadays, I almost forget this character exists. Are there any extremely popular characters? Yeah, Talon is basically a Strider. We'll shoot out shurikens, constantly jumping, constantly dashing, he'd be everywhere. Really just popular champions, that probably wouldn't be. Not particularly. Graves is somewhat of a fan favorite. Similar, I guess with Sona, but for the most part, I didn't put that many fan favorites, and probably not just because of the fact that there are some fan favorites that could possibly get in the case of like Lux, for example. I don't think the odds of Lux getting in are very good, but I put her up here just because of how big of a fan favorite she is, that she could possibly get in just because she's that big of a fan favorite. Tarek. Nope. Maokai would be sick as fuck. I just don't know what they would do. with Maokai. Like he's got two snares, one of them being his ultimate, and one of them just being his roots. And then his third attack is a sapling toss, which is basically a similar thing to Braum's Poro toss. So yeah, it could be like Hulk, I guess, and then he's got his ground slam, but that could possibly like OTG or something. But outside of that, they would pretty much almost have to make an almost entirely new kit, pretty much, to put Maokai in the game, which is why I put him at probably not, because they would have to change so much about him in order for him to work. Teemo. Thresh. Probably. If there's any support, I thought prior to Braum being announced that was going to be in the game, I thought for sure it was going to be Thresh. Thresh could be a possible grapper mixed with Ghost Rider or Kurapika from Nen Impact, 100%. And it'd be pretty. And he could possibly have a situation where he could possibly have an assist that could actually could possibly get people out of combos, which would be kind of broken, but also really cool at the same time. If you have Thresh back, you have Thresh back here, you're over here. You call Lantern assist, and you start getting hit. The Lantern drags you back to him, and you get out pressure. That'd be cool. Could possibly be broken. That'd be pretty cool though. Tristana, probably not, just because of the fact that she just fires a bunch of bullets. I think she might get a second jump, and Yordles are not very likely to make it into the game, because hitboxes would be a bitch. Yeah, which would be hit or miss pretty much. There are a couple of characters we've compared to Launcher so far. Trundle. I don't know what to do with Trundle. I'm gonna put Trundle in Might Be, just because he would be very similar to the big dude in KI who puts up a wall. It's just that Trundle will put up a giant pillar, basically forcing you to stay near him. He would end up being a striker character similar-ish to Darius, but he definitely is just one of those characters where his main gimmick is just doing a bunch of auto attacks along with the occasional bites. So I'm not sure. So they would just have to, basically, for characters where you would have to add a bunch of stuff to him or to them in order to make it work. Can't go to probably will be. If they have to change or add a bunch of stuff to them in order to make them work in any way, then they can't go up here. So at most they would go here, or at least that's what I'm saying. Tryndamere. God, I hope not. Tryndamere, I'm going to put in Might Be for some. They would have to figure out what they're going to do with the whole can't die thing. If they figure out what to do with the whole can't die thing, then they could possibly make it work in a similar way as Trundle, with the whole spin forward attack as a lariat. He's got the slowdown. Just a bunch, but at the same time, it just ends up being a bunch of auto attacks. But if they can find a way around the whole undying thing, then he could probably end up being a favorite to get in. But they'd have to get around that. I'm gonna put him in Might Not, actually, for that reason. I'm gonna put him as Might Not, actually, because that, in a similar sense to Scion, that is kind of a big thing about him. We'll just leave him as Might Not. TF. I'm going to put as do I want to do Might Not or Probably? Do I want to do Might Be or Probably Will Be? Because they could literally make him Gambits, and it would be really cool. Give him a staff, have him throw cards like Gambits. It would be really cool. Could have the different cards do different things like it does in League. Give him a teleport. I'll put him as Might Be, because it's. Yeah, he's about to make a name for himself here. I'm gonna put him as Might Be, just because I don't think he's as likely to make it in as a lot of the characters, as most of the characters I put up here. But I could see him technically making it in there, possibly. They just got to make him a bit more Gambit-like if they were willing to do that. But he's based on the character, so maybe they're willing. Twitch. Nope. Twitch. Turn invisible. Sneak around. Pew. 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 That's it. Sorry. Toss poison on the ground. Pew. 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 Yeah, I don't see it. I don't see it. But if we want a stance character, we are getting a stance character because Udyr's got 4 stances. And because of the fact that it's a fighting game, and you're not just limited to go into stance and auto attack, Udyr could literally have different moves for each stance, and it would actually be awesome. His auto attacks could do different things or do different damage, or maybe he'll take more damage or do more damage based on what stance he's in. If he's in Tiger stance, he could do multiple attacks. If he's in Turtle stance, he does this one big attack, but he takes less damage, and the Tiger stance, he does more damage. He can get different specials based on what stance he's in a similar sense I was talking about earlier. Special with Kiana, special one can be left, neutral, forward, and down could all change a stance, and then special 2 could be different specials for each stance. He'd be complicated as hell because again 4 different stances, but they would have some really cool things they could do with him. Knowing the fact that they could give each stance a different moveset in terms of specials or changing up how his auto attacks work, compared to just in the league where it's just how his auto attacks work. Be really cool. Urgot. I don't think so. Urgot just doesn't seem like a character that would work in a fighting game. Giant, slow, and his whole gimmick, this whole thing of constantly shooting guns around him at all times thing, I don't know if that would translate well to a fighting game, you know? I mean, he has this charge which he could use as a flip, so maybe he can have a command grab, but then again, having one that flips backwards in a similar sense of Singe might not exactly be a good thing. And then there is no real AoE around him thing in a fighting game. I could see him being an arcade mode boss, just literally twice the size of your character that you're having to constantly deal with guns being shot and bombs being dropped from the sky or whatever. But as an actual playable character, I don't see it. Varus, well, he could have lockdown, actually. He could be a zoner with good lockdown. Because he has a slow, he's got long range, he's got a snare. He could be a Hawkeye-esque. I'm not sure if they would make him fast. If they speed him up to make him faster like Hawkeye, he could technically work, since he does have a dot, he does have a slow, he's got a snare, he's got a long. He actually literally just could be Hawkeye. If they give him a role, he will literally just be Hawkeye. Maybe they could. Maybe they could put Varus in the game and literally just have him be Hawkeye. I mean, it would work because he has all the same things. His red, instead of a poison arrow, literally just his arrow just puts on the dots. Instead of the silver chains, he does the rain of fire that puts a puddle that slows people. He's just got regular long range arrows. He's got a snare arrow. Literally it's just Hawkeye, just without the roll. So if you give him the roll, he's literally Hawkeye, and we saw that it could work. So yeah, we'll put Varus as might be. I kind of talked myself into that one. Not gonna lie. Speaking of roles, Vayne could work in a similar-ish sense as Varus, because she actually does have a role. So if they could also possibly make her a Hawkeye technically. She would have a role, and instead of the rain from above pushback, she would just have a single shot arrow that does pushback. She could have a left right with the roll in a similar sense that Gold Lewis does. So she could technically work in that sense, or if anything, her roll shots could work in a similar sense as the charge shots of Happy Chaos that could literally just stun them in place or knock them up or something on hit. So the two of them could technically work in a similar sense as Hawkeye or Happy Chaos, technically, since they do have the role prop. Since Vayne has the role property, and Varys does have the multi projectiles that Hawkeye does, so it could technically work. Vagar. Nope. Similar sense as Nasus. Characters whose gimmick involves stacking a bunch doesn't really help them very much. Doesn't really do anything. And putting a giant stun in the middle of the ring to try to keep people away seems a little stupid in a fighting game, don't you think? Outside of that, he's got two different projectiles and then one range from above. Just not a ton of options. Vel'Koz, you guys may not like this, but I think he could possibly make it in. Vel'Koz would literally be Shuma Garath in every single meaning of the word, but he'd have more zoning options. He'd be Shuma if Shuma could zone. He'd have a similar move set in terms of normals to Shuma, but he'd have more projectiles. He could have one that goes across the ground that could OTG, a projectile that shoots straight up into the air. He'd have his laser beam. And then he'd literally have Shuma's normals, since he's basically a Shuma Garath. So I'm not sure how much you guys would like that idea, but I could definitely see it, and honestly, I probably would try him. If Shuma wasn't a charge character, actually, even though Shuma is a charge character in Marvel, I still tried him out a bit, so so I kind of hope he gets in. Be cool having Shuma in this game. Vex. I mean, she does have a bit of everything, so she could technically get in. She's got her dash. She's got projectiles. She does have a little bit of everything, so they possibly could come up with something for her. But actually, I'm gonna move her down here because main issue is I'm pretty sure isn't she tiny? Isn't she a very small character in the same issue as Yordles? Yeah. Oh, she is a Yordle, okay. I was pretty sure she was the size of a Yordle. I didn't realize she was a Yordle, but yeah. Her moveset makes me think she could go up here, but the fact that she's a Yordle pretty much brings her down here. And yes, I know I have Ken up here, but that's because I want him. There's a question on this one. So is there a question about the character that says, punch first, ask questions while punching? It's like, is there a question if someone that says that in game is going to be in a fighting game? Am I right? Punch first, ask questions while punching. Viego. Bionic arm. Viego going in. In a similar sense, we were talking about with Nico, except he straight up would take characters and steal them in the same way as Shang Tsung. 100% Viego could possibly get in, and he would be the Shang Tsung in the case that you would need to know how to play every character in order to make him work optimally. But it'd be very cool though. Victor, probably not. I don't know. Shoot two different ways to shoot lasers, and then putting a one to make him work. Yeah, but I'm pretty sure even you have to admit there, Brennan, the odds of them making him work is probably incredibly slim. He's got two different laser attacks, a giant trap that would basically be like the most broken thing known to mankind for Oki. And then he's got his rain of thunder, this thundercloud, which would just end up being a super probably. Won't be strange that storm. If they make him like a strange Dormammu character, then yes, it would be fine. But there's just nothing that we've seen really from League outside of him shooting lasers that could basically point to that. So if they did, by all means. But until then, I'm probably leaving him as probably not. Same thing as Vlad, because again, I don't like the idea of care. Actually, let me think about this. Because he could technically, but there are characters out there that basically have moves that hurt themselves, just like Vlad. So they could technically split his moveset between moves that hurt himself and moves that heal himself, like in League. But again, trying to balance a character like that just sounds awful. But imagine having a character that can both hurt themselves and heal themselves, and trying to figure out a way to make it where he's not absolutely terrible because he hurts himself too much, and not absolutely broken because he heals himself too much. So it would be an absolute balancing nightmare. So I won't leave him as might not, because there are characters out there that do things like that, but it just sounds like an absolute nightmare. Volibear, yep. If we want, we are talking about a polar bear, and if Tekken can put a polar bear in their game, I think 2XKO can probably put their lightning bear in the game. Don't you think? Am I wrong? Alright. Someone said this at the very beginning of the stream, so I will do this. Warwick is probably not going in the game. Okay, fine, I'm just joking. Warwick's going in. We all know it. We all know it. He's going. Like, if anything, there's a mix-up category in 2XKO, and Warwick's going in it. He could run fast, dash to multiple sides, dash to both sides, have an AoE around him roar. His super could literally be him knocking you to the ground and then literally just clawing your eyes out. Warwick's going to make it. We all know it. Also is going to make it, and we all know it. Again, come on, it's Wukong. He's going to have a clone, and it's going to be super annoying. He's going to have a million different knockups with his cyclones, and again, it's freaking Wukong. He's a fan favorite for a reason. Journey to the West, Sun Wukong, Monkey D. Luffy, Son Goku, etc., etc., etc. He's going to be in there. We all know it. Would not surprise me if he's in the freaking base roster. It's not a matter of if, only when. Zaya. I'm gonna put Zaya next to Rakan because if one gets in, the other gets in, and I don't think either of them is getting in, to be honest. Now that would be cool. That would be cool, actually, that they use that for attacks. The thing is, what else would they do? Like, if that's her weapon, that'd be cool. But everything else she does involves just shooting feathers and then pulling them back. So the problem is, we would need much more than that. Aggressive set play character, maybe. All right, you convinced me to you convinced me to put her up to might not, but I still would be surprised. I'm still gonna leave her as a might not. They could work as a tag team scenario like Android 18 and 17, but Zaya I could possibly see in that sense, like you were talking, like what you were saying. Rakan, I still don't see it, so I'll leave it at this. Zerath, nope. Too slow, and that's pretty much it. Way too slow of a character for this type of game. Fine, I'll put Rakan next to Zaya. Happy? He's too slow. He's too slow of a character for literally everything he does, and his set play options, unlike Syndra's, is pretty much non-existent. And I doubt they're going to make it where he can just throw an orb and stun people if it hits them in a 2D game. And then his big attack involves A, either sitting in place, or B, a long windup in order to get any distance. So I don't see him possibly making it into the game. I don't know what they would do for Xin Zhao's ultimate, his AoE swing that basically protects him when people are inside it. Similar thing with his multiple swings into a knockup. I don't know what they would do with it. I could see him being in the game because he's definitely a duelist type character, which if you want to put him in might be. It's just that there are some things in his kits that they would definitely need to work around in order for him to possibly get put in the game. Hey, I'm not saying they can't. They're definitely doing that. I mean, Alawi's got something entirely original. Ari's got her heat-seeking bomb. Braum throws Poros. So I'm not saying they can't do that, but basically my mindset when making this list is that characters that basically would end up needing that look and seem like they could very well be in the game, but need a few moves, like a complete overhaul of a few moves, could only go basically as high as might be. Is basically how I put it. Xin Zhao 100% can and probably should be in the game, but definitely one or two of his moves definitely need an overhaul, to say the least, before they could possibly put him in the game. That's basically what I'm getting at. This is a question. This is a question. Freaking Yone is definitely getting in the game. If anything, Yone is probably the character. I probably would like Yone more than I would like Yasuo, because he's going to have a lot of set. He's going to have a lot of set play options with the clone setups. And I'd be all for it. I'm one concern in the case of the ad do put like Echo, Wukong, and Yone is they might have a few too many characters that are just throwing out clones. And then it'll be the same thing when I throw in Zed in a few. But I don't know, just a thought. Yorick. Yes, they are Flash. So they already said that Katarina is not. They already said that Katarina is not going to be in the base roster, and will more than likely end up being in a DLC character if anything. So that's why she's here. Jinx, of what I heard, is getting. Oh, sorry. I've been talking nonstop for too long. Jinx is basically getting an entire rework. So she is not yet completely shown in the game at this point, even though we did see her a couple years ago. So because of that, she's going down to probably will be, even though odds are she will be. But until we actually see that she is officially in the game and like on the 2XGO website, that's where it shows she is one of the champions in the game, because right now it doesn't. She is just going to go here because I'm like 90 something, like I'm like 90 something % sure she is going to be in the game. I just need to officially see it first before I would put her up in already in the game, if that makes sense. Yorick. I'm gonna put Yorick up here next to Malzahar. Because basically, if Malzahar is a zoner summoner character, Yorick is basically a bruiser summoner character, or a striker summoner character, since he's probably going to have range like Darius. It's like it's like combine the two of these guys, and we got Nappa. Yorick is the close range part of Nappa, and Malzahar is the far range part of Nappa. Basically, combine these two together, and we got Nappa, and that's basically the idea. He summons ghouls to attack while he smacks you with a shovel, and Yorick will stay far away, summon his voidlings and they'll attack you as he blasts you from far away. I know Strauss, but again, if we don't know for sure that she's going to be there right now, then I'm not going to put her up here. Is what I'm saying. Yeah, she's in the games. We've seen her in the game. Same thing with Katarina, but we don't know for sure exactly what's happening with them just yet. So that's why I'm just want to invest properly, because in the end, they could just be scrapped for all we know, and they end up not in the game. It is humanly possible. Is it likely? No, but it is humanly possible. So until we know for an absolute fact that they are in the game, going to be in the game, and going to be coming out, then at most I'm going to put them as properly. Because even if it's only a 99% chance, it's not 100%, meaning it's not already. If that makes sense. And yes, Professor Wukong, I definitely think Wukong is going to be in the game. I join everyone else in the world that thinks Wukong will be in the game. There's up there, game master. I know. But like I said, that's why it's a 99% chance. That's why it's a 99% chance that it's going to happen. Yumi, probably not. My one idea for Yumi is that she's basically going to cause a Skullgirl situation where basically you're going to go into the game with one character, but your character is going to do more damage, have more HP, and you still have an assist. But that being said, though, you're only going to have 1 HP bar. So if anything, you'll have like 1.2 or 1.5 HP of everyone else, and you'll do like 1.2% more damage or something like that than everybody else. But you'll only have that 1 HP bar. Would they do that? Probably not, which is why I don't think it's going to happen. But that was my idea, if anything. Zach. Maybe? Probably not. Maybe. It could, technically. Sorry. Zach probably. Zach might not be. Mainly being some of his moves could the bounce attack, his aerial launcher. Here's a couple of interesting concepts that could possibly work. I'm just not fully sure if it would come together in a fighting game, and B, the fact that a lot of times, in a similar sense to Brand, but he at least is better at 1v1 fighting in the sense, he is the fact that he likes fighting when there's multiple people. So I don't see him being in the game, but I at least see him more likely than the likes of Brand, for example, who just wants to do a bunch of AoE. who just wants to do a bunch of AoE and a bunch of people. Calista and Senna seem likely. How so? I'm curious why you think that, Flash. But why you say that though? I'm putting Zed up near the top of the list. Like while you do that, Zed's going up here. Give me Zed. give me my assassin. Give me my assassin who plays like Morgan. Doesn't that sound disgusting? Ghost and Waifu is not a good reason to have them in a fighting game, Flash. But Zed is literally Morgan as an assassin. Projectile, AoE slash, a clone that copies exactly what he does, and unlike Morgan, he can swap places with the clone. And yes, he also looks badass. But yeah, Zed. Very much hope he gets in the game. Very much hope so. Like when it comes to characters that I'd want to play that could possibly get into the game, these two would be my top two. Samira because she's literally Zed, and Dante because he's literally Assassin Morgan. They're probably like two of the most likely characters I would want in the game because I would want to play that I would want to play specifically. Who's next? Shit, what's her name again? I don't remember. Zeri? Yeah. I think you're right. Zeri, maybe? I don't know. She is quick. She's quick and has a lot of different projectile options. So I could see her in a similar sense as Varus and Vayne. Both who have a lot of projectile options. Although hers probably don't lock you down nearly as much, but she would also probably be quicker than both of them too. So she could possibly make it. Yes, but Calista having to hop every time she auto attacks is going to be much slower than people who wave dash. Ziggs might not. Could set up a bomb minefield, which could be cool. I could see him being somewhat of an Aaron Black type, if it wasn't for the fact that also he's a Yordle and Yordles are less likely to be in the game. I know. Pretty much all Yordles are going down here except for Kennen, just because I want him. Her ultimate requiring a teammate Flash is probably not the greatest, to be honest. There, dude. Zillion's going down here for the same sense as Scion. Bringing characters back to life is a strange idea that I don't think would work because I don't think any form of way of bringing characters back to life in some way is going to work without it being a general mechanic in the case of like Shenron or the Mind Stone in Marvel Infinite, and even then that wasn't exactly the most balanced either. Wasn't Street Fighter 3 Gil stupid OP though? Zoe, no. Main reason Zoe no is because Bubble is dumb, and I don't want her in the game. Would she work in the game? Even if I wasn't saying that, probably not. But still, I still say she's dumb. The last two would no. I think Zyra is a maybe. Just for the set play possibilities of Zyra. I think that it's at least possible for her to make it in through the set play options that the plants could give. Yeah, she would be a trap set play character. Honestly, I think Zyra could either be in might not or might be actually, because she would be a trap set play character. I don't know how they would set up the seeds to get the plants to attack and everything. Honestly, when it comes to the set play options of her plants attacking you, she seems to me like if she did manage to get, like, she sounds like a character that would be difficult to get started with. But once she actually gets the plants out and attacking people, she sounds like she'd actually be really difficult to deal with. I'm probably gonna leave her in might not, just because in a game like 2x KO, it is very difficult for characters to set up that much, and Zyra seems like a character that might require that much time, unlike the case of, like I was bringing up before, with Syndra. Where Syndra, she just calls an orb, but the orb itself does damage and can lock people down. So with her, you at least have the option of what you're setting up can do damage and or at least lock down and cause a setup. Whereas Zyra, she needs to set up the plants before she can call them out. So basically, she would end up being a slower Syndra in a way. And like I said, in a game as quick as 2x KO, and the thing froze, yeah. And in a game like 2x KO, where everything is moving really quick, if you're not going to play a character that's going to join them in playing really quick, you either need to have good lockdown, actually, you pretty much just need to have good lockdown if you're not going to join them. You either need to be big, bulky bruiser type, or you need to have good lockdown. And Zyra could. It would just require setup, compared to the likes of Varus with a million different projectile options, Vayne with the rolls, Ares just quick, Vel'Koz with a bunch of projectile options, Kennen with stuns, Janet with tornado, Kai'Sa's quick, Karma's quick with projectiles and a shield, Orianna with her orb, Syndra with the several orbs supposed to knock back. Ezreal with the dash, Draven with the 20,000 projectiles from the axe throws. Basically, if you don't have good lockdown, or quick enough lockdown, and you're not quick, you're going to struggle. And I think Zyra's in that section, which makes me, like I said, think that she's going to be in the might not, because she could do it and she could get in technically, because she does have options with the plants. It's just that I think she might be a bit too slow to get started in order to fit in the game. And yeah, that was the last champion. Roughly 2 hours and 40-something minutes. Okay, less time than I was expecting. I thought it was going to take like 4. But yeah, not too bad. And got a good amount in every single section too. Pretty happy with that. These characters can all die and go to hell, though. I didn't hate Darius that much before 2xKO. Now I hate him. But yeah, so yeah, that's my list. Yeah, Aphelios, I just don't know how they would bring his kid into the game. And Jhin is he fires just so slow. It's like Jhin and Graves, they just fire so slow. It's like they've got the Happy Chaos issue of they have limited bullets before they have to recharge, but they just fire so slow. And And yeah, Aphelios, I just don't know how they're going to get eight different weapons into one character's auto attacks. Unless they're going to do two different types of weapons for auto attacks, and then have his six specials all be his other weapons, but then you ignore his actual abilities besides that. Yeah, so I don't know. Yeah, so I don't know how they would. I don't know how they would. How they would do that. So and that's why Aphelios is down here. Its odds are slim, and then he would then suffer the same issue as a bunch of other AD carries. If you're not really quick and you don't have lockdown or you don't have, then you're probably going to struggle. Like I said, you have the 20,000 axe throws of Draven, the Ezreal dash. We already know. I probably wanted to put Jinx up here if we didn't know she was already going to be in the game. Lucian with all the dashes, everyone with the infinite lockdown. Ashe with the lockdown and the CC. Kai'Sa with the speed. Kai'Sa with the speed. Quinn with the lockdown. Varus with the 20,000 projectiles. Vayne with the rolls. Ari with the speed. Basically, most of the ADCs that I put above him just have either more projectile options to lock down or are just straight up faster, and that basically ends up being the difference. Who's fast enough to keep up with the characters who are trying to catch them, and who can keep them away. That is basically the requirement to have a zoner like character in a game like 2xKO. Are they fast enough to stay away from them? In the case, like I said, if we're using Marvel, I'll just use Marvel 3 as an example because I've been using that Marvel 3 as an example this entire time. Hawkeye, he's really freaking quick and can use that to keep away from people with his multiple arrows. With all of his rolls into arrows, roll into arrow, he's really freaking quick. And then Morgan, who's not really quick, but because of her clone, she's got infinite lockdown with her 20,000 projectiles. And that's the only way those characters are pretty much able to get around the super quick characters of the game. And that's basically what's required. Because if you're not quick or you don't have good lockdown, what are you going to do? What are you going to do when Echo starts charging you? It's one thing if a Braum or an Alawi or a Darius or someone is trying to come at you because they're slow, so you can at least hold them back in that sense. But what happens when an Echo an Echo starts coming for you, or one of the sections coming out, or one of the categories is called high mobility? What happens when whatever the high mobility character comes out? What are you going to do? What are you going to do against that kind of character? So that's why, in my opinion, if they're going to have zoner-esque type of like ADC zoners or just zoners in general, basically they either need to be quick enough to be able to stay away, toss a projectile, stay away, toss a projectile, stay away, toss a projectile, or they need to have strong enough to lock down where they can throw projectile, and then have it be enough to where they have to slowly inch closer to you bit by bit. But you have them locked down barely enough in order to slowly keep them away while being able to back up yourself. Or at least that's how I see it. Because Granblue doesn't exactly do it the greatest. Because Matera is supposed to be able to zone people using her movement, and Fairy is supposed to be able to zone people using her long range and knock down with Gigi. The problem is, Matera's not really fast enough, and Fairy's buttons are too slow, and Gigi's too slow most of the time. So those two are kind of bad examples, I guess, on what I'm trying to get at here. Or at least I hope what I'm saying makes sense. The dev. Say it's not a bigger problem in the game. Wonder if they try to throw it out. That's a problem. I know Darius isn't that big of a problem in the game. I don't know what is. So I was checking the restream thing because the restream thing stopped working on me, and so Strauss stopped being able to see us, and we stopped being able to see Strauss. But yeah, I can see someone like, but I can see like a Kali or Camille being considered the mobility characters. Like I said, I can see like a Syndra and Ori and AD carry like Jinx or something as the zoner characters. Technique characters is I have no idea what that's going to end up meaning. That could possibly be a puppet character. It could possibly be a kindred who's got who you have to be able to control two things at once, but not have it be a puppet character. Assist character screams Yumi. Let me see. Let me look up real fast what all the options were. And it looks like it's working again now, Strauss. So I think we're good. But yeah, let me see what the categories are again real fast. Yeah, so what we have is all-rounders, which we already have, an Echo and Yasuo. Assist, like I said, that kind of screams Yumi. Bruiser, we got already. Grappler, I still think the most likely option is going to be either Blitz or Sets. A few other options including Nautilus or Pike also as possible options. High mobility, that's still going to be an odd one. Again, Akali possibly, Camille could possibly do that. Character with dashes, so Lucian possibly could technically count as that as well. Mix up again. There's a character again. One of the categories is just called mix up. So maybe that could be Zed. But again, if Echo's not a mix up character, who the hell's a mix up character? So that seems kind of odd. Rushdown, Ari's already considered Rushdown. Short range. Why is that a category? Like, why is short range a category? And who the hell is short range? I'm so confused on that one. Like that part screams a Yordle, but I don't exactly. But I don't know if they're going to do Yordles, so I don't know. Striker, we got that already. That's Darius. Technical again. Technical, I'm guessing just means hard to play. So again, that could possibly be a Kindred, maybe, because she could possibly be technical. Yone could be technical, depending on what they do with the dashback. Same thing with Wukong and his clone. Controlling a character like Elise or Malzahar or Yorick, characters that can control multiple. Or you have to worry about summoning multiple characters and using things like that. Characters like Udyr or Kiana with multiple stances could possibly be considered a technical character. Characters like Silas or Viego, maybe, where you need to be able to control you need to be able to know multiple characters in order to play them. I don't know. Technical is so vague that'd be kind of hard to. Be hard to tell for sure exactly what it means. Set only has fists, I guess. Like I said, Set I think has a chance of getting in as a grappler, because his E is technically a grab and his ultimate is a grab and a slam. So I could see him being a grappler. Trap, we all know what trap characters are. Not exactly like I said. That could possibly be something like Caitlyn, for example, as a possibility. Nidalee could possibly be a trap character. She could also technically be a technical character because she has two different forms, so they could be trap characters. And then Zoner, which could end up being many things. Yeah, Shaco is an option. And we have multiple options for zoners. It's basically every AD carry, as well as multiple different mages. So that could also be many things. Like I said, it could be Jinx finally coming into the game. Ezreal, Syndra, Orianna, Seraphine. Again, we can go on and on for possible zoners. But yeah, I don't know. Those are the other character. Those are all the attributes that are currently listed in the files of the game. So, who are they? I don't know. The game's coming out in 2025. We have six characters currently announced or currently shown off. In the case of Ari, Echo, Alawi, Braum, Yasuo, and Darius. And originally the website supposedly had 16 characters, so supposedly we're going to get 16. Now the website currently shows there being 14 characters. So I don't know if we're going to have 14 on release, 16 on release. So then, of course, I'm sure within the first year, I'm sure we're going to get like 4, 5, 6, some number amount of DLC as well. Who could they be? I have absolutely no idea. And this was at least my ideas of who I think could possibly get into the game, who could probably get in the game, who are not going to get in the game, and characters I hope do not get in the game. But yeah, that's just my opinions though. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this tier list. Hopefully you guys have your own opinions on it. And of course, depending on what characters you guys want to see, and of course, I want to know whatever the heck characters you guys want to see in 2XKO next. Because, like I said, game comes out next year. We have 6 announced, even if it's only a low number, even if it's the lowest of numbers we've seen so far at 14. We still have 8 more characters left to be announced, and only 4 more months left of 2024, and that is a terrifying thought. It's only 4 more months left of 2024. That's crazy. But yeah, so I'm sure we'll be getting more characters soon. So let me know what you guys think and what characters you guys would want most to see in 2XKO.